Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sister. The message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I have a confession that I have been keeping in my heart for the longest time. So if you ever post my story, please tell me so that I can follow through in the comment section. So my confession, it goes on like this. I am a pastor's wife, a woman who should embody grace, kindness, and righteousness. But the truth of the matter is, I have done things in the dark, things that are evil, things that are considered to be quite demonic, some things that when people will hear my story, they'll even ask me if indeed I am a pastor's wife. But I am a pastor's wife. I have done a lot of these things that are completely against the teachings of Christ. I have hidden behind my title, pretending to be someone that I am not, and I think that this is the perfect time for me to confess, because now the sins that I have committed over the years, they have been weighing so heavily on my soul. So when I became a pastor's wife, let me tell you a story what happened when I started dating this man who became my husband. So my husband, when he was still in Bible school, he was dating two girls. At that time, I did not know that he was dating two girls. When I found out, that was when I went to this other Zangoma, and I went and I spoke with that traditional healer, and I told the traditional healer that I had to do whatever that I could so that I can become the pastor's wife. I became so obsessed. Then the traditional healer then told me that I had to convince this boy to sleep with me, because after he would have slept with me, then he was going to find me to be really nice. So I forced him to sleep with me, even though he was like totally refusing. After he had slept with me, I then blackmailed him, and I told him that I was going to expose him to everyone that he had slept with me and he wanted to dump me. So he quickly married me. Even the wedding, it was rushed because I was already pregnant. When I had my wedding, I was 3 months pregnant. People did not even know that I was pregnant at that time. At least I was still okay. I was not this demonic woman, this evil woman that I am right now, because I can even feel it in my blood that there is a demon that is always there with me, a demon that is always possessing me. And with all of that responsibility, people looked up to me, and I am someone who is a smooth talker, and I enjoyed the respect that came with being called the pastor's wife. But as time went on, something in me began to change. I started to feel very insecure and jealousy, particularly of the women in the church. This was after I had given birth to my second daughter. So I was scared that maybe my husband, in his heart, maybe he wants a son. So I would look at all the girls in church and I'll start to hate them, thinking that maybe my husband will make a mistake and sleep with one of those girls, and then he will have a son with another woman, not me. So I felt so insecure, and those that were close to my husband, I kept on going to that same traditional healer, using my charms against them. I began to see them as threats, especially this other young woman fresh out of university. She was our church secretary. She was young, beautiful, and seemed to have a special place in my husband's heart, but not like that special place like they were dating. No, my jealousy turned into bitterness, and soon I began to gossip about her and others in the church. I spread rumors, sowed seeds of discord, and caused disunity amongst the congregation. I would whisper into the ears of the church members, telling them lies, all to turn them against each other and against this girl in particular. I watched with a twisted sense of satisfaction as friendship crumbled and the church became even more and more divided. Even right now, my husband is pastoring what I considered to be the most disorganized church in the whole world. We cannot do anything without people insulting each other, and I like it when people are insulting each other. But my sins do not stop there. The reason as to why I like it when people are insulting each other, it is because at least I feel that I am not the only one who is a sinner in church. So I had a deep hatred for this young woman, convinced that she was having an affair with my husband. The belief consumed me. I don't want to lie. I decided to take matters into my own hands. I then contracted a witch doctor, someone whom I always dealt with that I knew from my past, and I paid him to cast cast a curse on this woman. I wanted her out of the way, wanted her to suffer for what I believed she was doing to me and into my marriage. After weeks after the curse had been cast, she fell seriously ill. It was a strange illness that no doctor could even diagnose, and within months she passed away. The church was so devastated, and I pretended to mourn with them, all the while knowing that her death was on my hands. The guilt that affected me, it was too much. Like the time when it was body viewing time, yeah, that was really painful for me to see her inside her coffin. I also engaged in another demonic act, stealing sanitary pads. This is what I am still doing right now, because my husband, he has this kind of a calling, a boring one. Like, there are always people that are always staying at our house, even though we have a big house, because my husband told me that when he was praying before we had purchased this property, God told him that he was going to make it possible for him to buy a big house. And indeed, we just got the money out of nowhere, and we then bought this big house. So I thought that maybe God was wrong, but then my husband told him that God kept on telling him that he is not supposed to let people that are suffering go around homeless. So my husband, sometimes he picks up people, then they come and then they stay with us, but they do not stay with us like in the main house. We then built another 2 guest houses, one for women and the other one, it is for those homeless men that my husband regularly picks up. So this is what I have been doing. Those women that come to stay, some of them, they stay maybe for 1 or 2 months. There are some people that will be desperate. Since we are here in South Africa, there are those that are from our country. So they will be going around, maybe they would have came from Zim, they don't have any relatives here. So if they are women, then they'll be staying at that other guest house. So what I do is that I always buy them sanitary pads, and then I instruct them, if they are on their periods, to place the sanitary pads in a small plastic bag, and then we can just collect them and put them in one rubbish bin. And I am always active whenever I notice that there is someone who is on her periods. I do this because I can get the chance to take their used sanitary pads, then I sell them to this other witch doctor who is also from Mozambique, who has been using them for dark rituals. I don't care about the harm that it is causing. It is all about money that this man is giving me, but I am only human. I don't want to lie to you. I have been living a life pretending to be a godly woman. Even the money that I used to buy my husband a car on his own birthday, it was the money that had been given to me by this traditional healer who is from Mozambique, who was just thanking me. I don't know how much he is selling these used sanitary pads for, but he just gave me a lot of money. And I then went on this other auction where I ended up buying a car for my husband, and I gifted my husband with that car on his birthday. I have betrayed the trust of the women who are staying in my home, the trust of the congregation, and the trust of God. Each and every time that I step into the church, I feel as if the eyes of those that I have wronged staring at me, their voices whispering in my eyes, demanding justice. But my brother, the people, they do admire me. They consider me to be the most holy woman in this entire world. When I start to pray, I cry on top of my voice, but it will be just an empty cry. This is my confession, Brother Nashi. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister. That was the translation of the message that she sent to me. Strange things do happen in this world. Yo.